The Acts of Geekery podcast is proud to announce Thor Cola, an electrifying new drink that is guaranteed to send you to the gates of Valhalla. Also introducing Diet Thor Cola, all of the flavor with none of the thunder thighs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Acts of Geekery podcast, episode 45. I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek, here to bring you all the hyped-up geek news in the world of geekdom.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We sound hyped. Half of us.
Yeah.
Do you need, like, a soda or something?
I've got one.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'll drink it while we're waiting for the news.
Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient?
Shut up and get to the point!
All right. Geez, Bender, we'll get to the point.
Yeah.
The point is the news.
The news.
All the geek news out there,
Yeah.
and we're the only podcast that brings you all of it. Yeah, I'm gonna make that claim. Why not?
Okay, sure.
So far, I haven't heard many podcasts that have all the news.
You're gonna start a podcast war, and
I'm gonna start
okay
a
with
war. Hey, if it gets us publicity, that's
because
fine.
we've got the best people on our side, including our birthdays today.
Yeah. Well, not today.
No,
But
just throughout the week. This
Throughout
last
the
week.
a couple days ago,
Do you want to go?
Pac-Man.
Okay, so we're going youngest to oldest.
Yeah, why not? Pac-Man is now 35 years old.
35 years of eating anti-anxiety pills.
He is. He's got a chronic case of obesity as well. He's perfectly round. he's eaten so much.
Well, happy birthday, Pac-Man. Came out, I guess, 1985.
Well, 35 years ago. So I actually heard an interesting tidbit that back when Pac-Man came out, it was actually a better investment than like car companies and stuff to buy a
Really?
Pac-Man arcade game because it was so popular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
I also heard that Pac-Man was originally designed for women.
Okay. Not Miss Pac-Man? Is
No.
that designed for men?
No, Pac-Man originally was designed for women.
Why? I mean, like, what's
I have no idea. I just read that somewhere, and I was like, huh, what do you know? And then I read the top comment, which was, is that why his mouth moves and you can't understand anything he says?
Jeez. Wah, 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 wah.
Wow, 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 wow.
Denarian Star.
Yes.
No,
and-
not Denarian Star. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Because Denarian Star is the British
Wreck-It
dude.
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. We're going to call him that.
John C. Reilly is 50 years old on the 24th.
Yep.
Another obese man.
Oh
No,
be
no,
nice.
I'm sorry.
He's actually a very, very funny guy.
You know what? And
My first movie I remember him in, Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights.
Yep.
It was the first time I'd ever seen him.
Ricky Bobby, Step Brothers, and then Wreck-It Ralph. And when he got cast in a Marvel movie, I went,
As a Nova Corps member, we were like,
seriously? But you know what?
did a good job.
Did a great job.
I mean, if you heard a couple of podcasts back, we had a clip where he goes, we were talking to the
I don't think
head.
anybody's...
I don't really think that anyone's 100% a dick. So, happy birthday.
Yeah. Also, turning 50, Melissa McBride.
Now, you're saying, who is that? And
Exactly.
at first, I was too until I saw a picture. Carol from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. I heard her described as Lamey Lee Curtis. I'm
Yeah.
full of bad stuff.
No, I've
today.
heard that before. I've actually heard that. She does kind of look like, and I think I've actually said this, budget Jamie Lee Curtis.
She does. And but you know what? She's great.
She looks just like her pretty
She's
much.
fantastic. And her character in The Walking Dead has turned from just a normal kind of
she was
scared
so-
wife to somebody who's actually very fantastic.
She
and
was so
self-reliant.
annoying to me in the first little bit when you saw her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because she had been, well, her husband that is now dead. Spoilers, for season 1.
Yeah.
So if you haven't caught up by now, what are you doing? You failure.
You failure.
You failure. It was basically a wife beater. And she was scared of him and stuff.
Yeah, she was abused.
But she's kind of gone past that. And now she's turned into kind of a badass.
Yeah, she gets the best episode or the best part in any episode in like the first half of the 5th season or whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah, where she pretty much saves everyone.
Well, the last birthday we have on our list, which is not the least. I'm sure there's others we probably missed.
In fact, I would think besides Pac-Man, this is the most famous one.
Okay, but kind of an unknown famous.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people don't realize that this guy is who we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
So first of all, Peter. Oh gosh, I've already started. I've already started this podcast off terribly. Peter Mayhew.
Yes.
I was trying to say last night, I was just talking about how I'm so terrible with my words sometimes. I have like mouth vomit.
Yes.
Word
It's
vomit.
really true. It's all over the table.
And I was trying to say post-apocalyptic, and I kept saying poke-apocalyptic.
Poke-pocalyptic.
And then, you know what? I got done, I was like, fine. Pokemon destroy the world. Whatever. A poke-apocalyptic universe. Peter Mayhew.
Now that you've
Also-
had time to look him up on your digital devices.
Also known as Chewbacca. Good one.
Thank you. Actually, I didn't think I could pull that off. Yeah, he's 71 years old on the 19th.
And he has new knees.
Yes. He's actually a Salt Lake Comic-Con alumni.
Yes, he is.
Which we haven't really had much Salt Lake Comic-Con news on the podcast this time.
I haven't seen anything.
I've seen a few things.
that I would want to even announce. Most of it's just like, oh, okay.
Well, who's the guy who's going from Star Trek? Not Sulu, Chekhov.
Oh,
The original. Walter
Koenig.
Yeah, Koenig. Yeah.
Bald guy.
Yeah.
He's
Nuclear
su-
vessels.
He's super bald right
Yeah.
now. It's crazy to look at him, and I'm like, man, you're really old.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
Peter Mayhew, he's like 7'8" or something like that. 7'6". He's a huge guy, and he was kind of doing like a fundraiser. People were doing a fundraiser to get him money to get his knees replaced.
And you know what? That's a better cause than any of the other celebrities have.
I don't
going
know.
to Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Starving kids in Africa.
She wasn't there for that. She was there for herself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, true. Anyways, happy birthday!
Yay! And no deaths
that we saw.
Woo! Well, actually, I think there were a few, but I know a mathematician died, like a famous mathematician.
that's sad.
Yeah, that is kind of sad.
Man, well, that's
Not
not
to drag us down or
Most
anything.
people won't care because most
No.
people hate math. But whatever.
Math.
But let's get into someone who, to me, is kind of being controversial, and
Yes.
I'm liking him less and less.
And I put this on here so that we could sit here and talk about it and bring this up. Simon Pegg made a few comments about geekdom that were less than favorable. He's apologized for them after that. First of all, he said he wanted to make Star Trek 3 less Star Trek-y, which is pretty much the primary complaint for the new movies.
They're already less Star Trek-y than Star Trek. And I always thought he was a huge geek.
Yeah.
And he knows stuff.
He is a huge geek.
But for some reason, he's making some comments and saying things and doing stuff that it's like, what are you thinking?
he's claiming that the sci-fi and superhero community is dumbing down cinema with a focus on childish comic books and superhero movies, insisting he's still nerd and proud. He's saying that the fans have been infantilized.
Basically, he's biting the hand that feeds.
Yeah,
You know who watches your movies, Simon Pegg? Your Cornetto?
Yeah.
Cornetto trilogy, your Shaun of the Dead, which is Shaun of the Dead,
Hot Fuzz,
and The World's End. You know who watches those? Nerds, geeks, people that love that kind of stuff. Regular people don't even know about your movies. I can talk about them, and a lot of people be like, I've never seen Hot Fuzz. I don't know. Was it even any good? They're good movies, but stop pissing off the people that pay your bills. Really.
Now that is said, here is what I will say.
All right.
Simon Pegg is entitled to his opinions.
Everyone
And he
is,
wants
sure.
to share his opinions online. That is his prerogative. The fact that he does not think that the latest cinema, the Avengers, the latest Guardians of the Galaxy, the latest sci-fi movies are very good is his matter of opinion. Plenty of geeks think that. However, if you are any sort of famous and you decide to take a shot at the geek community, who is notoriously the most vitriolic community out there and the most violent and basically backlashy.
I don't know, violent. I wouldn't say violent.
Verbally violent.
Okay.
Verbally violent.
Verbal abuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you will get destroyed on the internet.
The other thing
But I will say this. Do not take Simon Pegg to task. Just let him do his thing. If he starts ruining stuff, then you can contact him on it.
It's hypocrisy is what it is. And it's the worst thing that a actor can do is say that these kind of movies are terrible, yet still star in them, still act in them, and still create them.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I don't know. I mean, Simon Pegg has always been an advocate for geekdom.
I think that maybe someone pissed him off. Maybe someone at a convention or something like slapped him in the face, or I don't know. Who knows?
Or said that
you're terrible or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of has gone off the rails for the last little bit.
I hope that he really. I hope that he really kind of backs off on this and he continues to be like, yeah, you know what, I spoke out of turn, because people say stupid things when they're angry, things that they don't mean.
And he talks. He
I
says stuff like,
told Scott that I hated him like 3 times yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and then I got angry and.
Well, and he's also said stuff like that the movies have been infantilized or
infantilize. That's such a weird word.
It's just a weird word, but
yeah,
dumbed down, things like that.
Yeah,
well, guess what happened? Guess what happened in the 80s? The same thing. All those action movies that came out, people criticized them for being dumbing down the audience because it's not, Humphrey Bogart and all these other silent films and the silent film industry.
It's a passing of the guard, and they're not on the boat.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
he's a mixture of metaphors.
He is going to lose. He's going to start losing respect. And I get everyone is entitled to their opinion. That is why we live, at least in America, at least free country. You can say whatever you want. The problem is you're not free from backlash.
No,
and you're not free from the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, you can have freedom of speech, but you can't expect everybody just to respect the fact that you just said something violent or rude.
Yeah.
I keep saying violent.
Like, I don't know why, but like David Goyer and his whole, you guys don't know, you're just a bunch of virgins. Yeah. Well, of course you're going to get a bunch of backlash, you dummy. Why did you say something like that?
Simon Pegg now has 1 strike against him in my book. That's fine, because as we all know, I give everybody 3. Everybody gets 3 chances to ruin themselves, because I do not like the idea. There at work we have this thing posted in one of the bathrooms that says it takes many good deeds to build a good reputation, but only 1 bad deed to ruin it. And it's like a Benjamin Franklin quote.
Pretty true.
I don't like to think it is. That's a pessimist way of looking at the world. I'd like to think that people are better than that, and that you can do something bad but still redeem yourself afterwards.
So far, I mean, and this is the thing, is like you said, they build up, but if like Ian McKellen came out and said all fans of the Lord of the Rings are a bunch of morons, he would pretty much lose all respect from almost everyone. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's the way the world is. That's the way humans are.
But I'm not ready to give up yet. I'm going to have to be better.
See.
If Tomorrowland has taught me anything, I will have to feed the right wolf and be better.
And be hopeful. Yep.
So, Simon Pegg, you still got at least 1 fan. I still love you. Come on the show and defend yourself.
And I just don't like the hypocrisy. That's what my point is. I don't like that as being a hypocrite. If you don't like the movies the way they are, don't sign up for them.
Hypocrisy is everywhere, though.
I know.
I mean, you cannot talk. I mean, in our business, which is to talk about people who are excited for these things, you know that 90% of them don't really give a crap. Yeah, when Disney comes out and says, we're super excited that we get to bring this great experience to the fans, they're really thinking, we're super excited for all the money we're going to get, which is the complete opposite. They don't give a crap what it is. Well, and you can't really, I mean, there's an argument to be made about the dumbing down of cinema. I love all the latest movies, Avengers and everything like that, but they don't really make you think.
I mean, you can also counter argue that though. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of movies out there that do make you think. Tomorrowland, I just saw it. That whole movie, I was going, holy crap! This is like a deep movie. Mm-hmm. This is not an action movie. Yeah. It wasn't.
Since we're talking about it, you want to give a 160 character review?
We'll do that when we get to it. Okay. But things like the movie Moon, great movie. Thinker, Ex Machina that came out.
Okay,
Thinky movie.
Ex Machina is not very popular. Yes, it did very well critically. Moon.
But he's
people also, on the podcast write in and tell me if you've actually heard of Moon before this podcast.
But he's also generalizing. Mm-hmm. saying all movies are being dumbed down. That's not true.
No, he's not. He's saying that the sci-fi community is mostly dumbed down.
Most of his movies are pretty dumbed down.
Actually, no. There's something to be said even about that. The problem is that you can't just shout from the rooftops and say, this is wrong. You have to go, this is how we should fix it, and actually try and fix it.
Or say, I don't agree with this. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Do that.
Exactly.
If you don't like it.
Take a stand. Yeah. Don't just say things are getting bad. Do something to change it. And again, like everything we're talking about is relating to Tomorrowland, because that's another point of that movie is don't just accept the fact that things are bad. Do something to change it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. That was actually a very good discussion. I enjoyed that.
I've got so much more to say about it, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
No. If you need to talk, we need to talk.
It's fine. We got stuff to cover. This will be more of like
forget it. It's just stupid things like Marvel's new direction.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So Marvel is teasing a all-new, different Marvel comics coming in the fall, taking place 8 months after Secret Wars ended. It's probably going to be things like certain worlds that did well in Secret Wars are being meshed into the regular universe.
And by did well, you mean sold a lot of copies.
Exactly. Again, there's that little different, like, we're doing this for a whole new direction because we need money.
Well, Marvel's doing it for money, but that's their baby. They still love superheroes. So,
Do they, though? Or do they just love money, Scott?
They love superheroes.
They love superhero money, that's for sure. We also have a little bit of Ant-Man news. We have
a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Ant-Man apparently may include other Marvel characters such as Falcon.
Or, Yellow Jackets, Hank Pym.
No, not
I mean, come on.
So somebody asked the director whether or not other Marvel characters from other movies might make it in. And he said that's like a really tight-knit secret. I can't really tell you yes or no. I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility. So basically he's saying yes.
Possibly.
We might see a few at the end credit scene and everything. But then he actually also talked about the Edgar Wright situation in this little article that he did.
Yes, the previous director that left or
and he
got
said,
kicked out.
And they asked him, like, what's the difference between your version and the Edgar Wright version? And he said, well, the Edgar Wright version was a lot more comedic and self-irreverent and everything like that. Basically an Edgar Wright movie, kind of making fun of itself.
What else has Edgar Wright done?
He's the Cornetto trilogy guy, going back to...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And he said that they had to kind of make it a little bit more serious and everything like that, and a little bit less like the comedy movie that Edgar Wright wanted it to be. So that could have been the reason why, is Marvel's like, no, we want Ant-Man to actually be viable in the universe, like we did with Guardians.
Don't make him a joke.
Yeah, don't make him a joke character.
It's like what DC's doing with Aquaman,
or like what they did back in the day.
Yeah, they're doing everything they possibly can to get him out of that joke phase.
Yeah,
get him away from the 1960s Super Friends Aquaman. Where everyone's just like, oh, he's so dumb.
Scott,
make him
Aquaman
awesome.
Advocate.
I'll fight for Aquaman. Or alongside of him, because he can take his own.
You'll fight a couple steps behind him so he can actually take everything.
Yeah, he can do everything.
We also have some Agent Carter news. I'm super excited about this.
Well, we heard. We reported on this yesterday.
2 weeks ago, I think.
Yesterday.
Where
there will be an Agent Carter season 2 got announced, which was actually a big surprise for us.
We didn't really realize. And they actually just announced that the season 2 will actually be extended. I'm saying actually a lot today too, by 2 episodes. So we're getting 10 instead of 8.
Cool.
This could either mean that we are getting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. running and Agent Carter running at the same time, or they're pushing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back a little bit later, which can be a good thing, which can be a bad thing. I mean, we'll talk about we have something planned for you to talk about how you felt about Agent Carter, because I don't really know your opinion on it, but we'll talk about that later. I have an idea.
During this podcast?
No, not during this podcast.
Okay.
I would just say keep an eye on the Facebook page at actsofgeekery.com or facebook.com/Acts of Geekery. Give us a like there and you'll find out exactly what we're talking about. James Gunn is in the news. Somebody who's got a couple strikes against him.
Yes, he does.
And he has been teasing that there will be a new Guardian joining the Guardians of the Galaxy for their sequel.
Huh.
casting's already begun for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which means we might go into production a little bit later, or probably after Doctor Strange starts production.
I mean, there's been a lot of people on the Guardians of the Galaxy team.
Their roster kind of fluctuates.
They're like a mini Avengers.
I hope it's
deal.
Bug.
I hope it... Nova. Nova would be cool.
No. How about Angela?
No.
No?
No.
Don't you think that
I like
would be...
her character, but I don't think she would fit in.
Are you sure? That would be a great way to introduce like these divine beings that Peter Quill comes from.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Scott, I know you like Emma Stone.
Oh, I love Emma Stone.
Yeah, she's a wonderful lady.
She's my She's my girlfriend.
I can't say anything else about her other than she's good because you'll get really jealous.
Yes, I have a gun pointed to you right now.
Somebody help me. But she said that she would love to do a Spider-Gwen movie. And I actually think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So you have this movie where Emma Stone...
Oh, but wait, Corey, she's dead.
However, Spider-Gwen is an alternate reality where she is... Oh, man, I just realized something. They're going to introduce Spider-Gwen into the Marvel Universe, and like with Secret Wars, and then they're just going to keep her in 616. So, like, the one character who has never come back to life is now back to life. Oh, wait, we still have Uncle Ben. Never mind, we're good. As long as Uncle Ben stays dead.
That kind of is interesting. I don't know if Marvel should do the whole multiverse thing.
You don't think so?
And at least for their movies. I'm okay with them doing the comics. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole movie, I think the movie thing they need to stay...
You know what they need to do?
One universe.
They need to get the people who do DC animations and do a Spider-Gwen animated movie.
Yeah.
Set in an alternate world.
Yeah.
I would go for that. With Emma Stone doing the voice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if... And again, this is the same thing we're talking about. Do actors really care about the stuff they do? Mm-hmm. There are certain people they actually care.
Yeah.
I mean...
The Rock.
Ryan Reynolds. He I was reading a whole bunch of facts about him and Deadpool. He's got the same height as Deadpool, the same build as Deadpool, the same hair color as Deadpool, the same eye color as Deadpool, the same the day he started acting was when Deadpool first issue aired.
That everything that you set up to the day he started acting, most of that isn't in his control.
I'm just saying, like he is our.
He was
real life,
born to play Deadpool.
He was our real life Deadpool. But like you can tell that he loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He really enjoys it,
and he really fought for it because Ryan Reynolds is a household name now.
Yeah.
People like him. He's a very attractive man. He does great in these comedy movies, these rom-coms. But he still fought tooth and nail to get Deadpool made.
Yeah.
Because
and it makes me wonder.
Yeah,
I love Emma Stone, and I hate to say anything negative about her, anything at all.
I don't really think she cares, Scott.
No, I know she didn't.
I think somebody asked her, "Would you like to play Spider-Gwen?" And she was like,
"Yeah, sure."
Who? Oh, her? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, it's probably one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than like she actually posted on Facebook about it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'd be a good actor. Maybe not in actual acting quality, but as far as like
I've heard you act.
being passionate about the projects I'm in.
No, I definitely would. I mean, I wouldn't. There would be projects that I would take just because you have to start out as an actor somewhere. Mm-hmm. But there would be projects where I'm like, dude, you guys got to see this, and people have seen me when I get really passionate about a movie that is fantastic. It started when I started my job. Pacific Rim had just come out. And I convinced pretty much everybody at work. I was like, this is a great movie. I mean, it's literally just dumb fun. It's not a smart movie. Yep. It's just giant robots punching giant aliens. But I get really passionate about the things that I like.
I do too.
And I hope that some of these actresses are the same way.
If they're like, hey, you want to make a Star Trek movie? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to play a superhero? It doesn't matter which one I'm in.
I don't care. Make me the freaking bouncing boy
blob.
I don't care. I will play the crap out of it.
I don't know. I mean, I would definitely take it if if Fox came up to me and said, you want to play an X-Men, but I might not be happy about it, actually.
No, I'd be okay with it.
I would too, because it's a paycheck.
They're like, hey, do you want to play Juggernaut?
Do you want to play this minor mutant? We'll give you $50,000 for it. Yeah.
Sure. All you have to do is get shot and killed. Done.
Yeah.
Done. I'm in.
I don't think extras get paid that much.
No, probably not.
You know who's not getting paid? The lady who's going to play Harley Quinn in Arrow.
Yeah, I can't remember her name though.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I do know that she had she looked like Harley Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the pigtails, they had the Argus uniform on,
Yep.
and she even had the voice down.
Oh yeah, she had the voice. She was pretty good. In the little cameo we saw.
Willa
her.
Holland is her name.
Oh, there it is, right there. No, that's who plays Thea Queen.
Oh,
she was talking about how Arrow had a lot more plans for Harley Quinn to introduce her, probably in this last season and in this next season coming up.
Yeah, on every Suicide Squad episode,
because she's a fantastic character. But they kind of got a call down from DC execs that were like, don't do that.
Shut it down. Harley's going somewhere else, which was disappointing. Because,
and that's probably the reason we lost Deadshot too.
We saw a glimpse of her.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
and,
spoilers. Go on.
We saw a glimpse of Harley in the very first Suicide Squad episode, and me and you were like pretty giddy.
We were really giddy about it.
She's gonna be in it, but they didn't do anything else with it.
No,
so
which is sad.
Yeah, well, it's like in Supergirl. In Supergirl, they never say Superman's name. They just keep saying like my cousin or he or
Kal-El,
the alien guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just
him.
Yeah, him. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Is that
down?
That's
no.
not on your news?
Nope.
So this week we had Supergirl. The pilot got leaked 6 months early. Now, a lot of people don't know if this is actual leak or not. They're leaning towards an official leak because there's no watermark on it.
It's very good quality.
It's very good quality, 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go get it at 1080p.
Yep.
Very good quality, no watermark, which means it didn't get leaked from like a Fox 13 or ABC 6 or something from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they think it was, and the Flash. Like
this
the
happened with the
Flash,
Flask.
Kind of the same thing, although it wasn't as high a quality.
Sorry, I said the Flask.
The Flask.
Yep.
It wasn't as high quality, and that was actually confirmed to be a legitimate leak. Someone actually got fired over it, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But Supergirl Pilot got released. Me and Corey have watched it, and let's do a quick.
All right, okay.
So we saw the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We both had mixed feelings about the trailer, at least from what I remember.
Yeah.
I thought the first half of the trailer was kind of stupid.
I felt like the trailer kind of showed us a lot of the first episode.
We were thinking it showed us so much stuff that we were thinking maybe it was even like most of the first season. And no, they do all of that stuff in the pilot. She dons the outfit like 6 minutes in.
Yeah,
which to me, that's crazy because most other pilots and TV shows, it takes a couple episodes to get them all spun up. Yeah. Even the Flash, he didn't even put the outfit on until like the very end of the last episode,
or the very end of the first episode.
First episode, sorry. Yeah, he was in like Act 3 of that episode before he even put the costume on at all.
And that's I think the difference there is that people didn't know who the Flash was, so they had to explain his powers.
Yeah.
But everybody knows who Superman is, and Supergirl's just his cousin.
Yeah, just a girl version of Superman.
So I will say this: actors, I thought they did fine.
Except for Ally McBeal.
Yeah, I don't like Ally McBeal. Calista Flockhart.
Yeah.
She's the only part on that I really don't care for.
Melissa Benoist, which plays Supergirl, or Kara Zor-El, she actually surprised me. I liked her a lot better than I thought I would.
And I'm not too down on James.
James, don't call me Jimmy.
Yeah, James, don't call me Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
With the black Jimmy Olsen, I'm not too down on him. I think he's fine.
And it's not even that. It's he's a hunky beefcake. He's not a nerdy kid.
Which they should have had the other kid play Jimmy Olsen.
The other guy, he's a lot.
He would have been a better Jimmy Olsen.
She's told a bunch of people already, or they've already figured out who she really is. All of the DEO knows.
Yep.
Her sister knows.
Well, her sister's actually an agent apparently.
Spoilers.
Anyway, yeah, whatever. You can find that out from the synopsis. So the acting's pretty good. The general actually kind of bugs me too.
Oh, it's not the general. That's Hank Henshaw.
Yeah, Hank
right?
Henshaw.
Yeah,
Corporal Henshaw or something.
Yeah.
The effects.
I thought the effects were fantastic.
At points, and at other points, it kind of looked a little cheesy.
Even then, it looked less cheesy than the CW has done.
You know what I would say?
I thought they had more money.
Yeah. You know what I would say? The best scene is the plane scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's classic Superman and classic Super Family.
I was really nervous that they were going to do the whole plane scene with her flying and lifting it and all that stuff, and then for the rest of the episode, she wouldn't be using her powers. Mm-hmm. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
She flies a bunch.
Yep.
A bunch. She punches a guy through a semi. Not through the side of a semi. From the front to the back, and the whole semi gets split
in half.
Literally in half.
Yep.
I was actually, when I saw that, because you were kind of saying like, because they were fighting weird,
like,
and she has no training.
fine.
And then she punched him, and you're like, whoa,
okay.
And then
All
he
right.
punches her and slams her into the ground, and the whole ground just kind of like
Collapses.
craters.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. So I think they're actually gonna.
I'm okay. I'm okay with
I like
the graphics. I think that it went a little fast.
It was very rushed.
I think kind of like this podcast. I think that it was kind of due to the fact that they needed to just get through the origin episode. Be like, yes, this is who she is. We're not going to spend an entire season for her finding out like what it is that she's fighting for. It's not going to be Smallville where you go 8 seasons without seeing a cape.
Superman in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You see everything but his face.
Yep.
So
And he looks like Man of Steel Superman, I would like to point out.
Yep. And which is awesome. And so to me, they don't ever have to show him again. They barely even have to mention him.
It's just good enough to know that he's there.
He exists in that universe. And so that's a slight tie-in to the movies. I know they're separate and they're supposed to be separate.
Yeah.
But I can still kind of go, okay.
Yeah.
So, Superman really exists.
Overall rating, because we got to move on.
4 out of 5 for me.
I give it 3.5. I think it's got potential. We'll give it our 3 episodes once it actually comes out.
Super fun.
And we've got one other thing that we have to watch a little bit later on, if you remember.
Oh yeah, the
Wonder Woman pilot.
unaired Wonder Woman pilot.
Yeah, back when
Adriana Palicki was going to be Wonder Woman.
Which she looks great in that costume, by the
Yep.
way. Let's talk about Lex Luthor.
Yes. Which Lex Luthor?
The comics version.
Comics version, cartoon version, or Jesse Eisenberg?
Not Mr. Krabs or Jesse Eisenberg. We'll talk about the comics version and his new outfit that he's getting in comics. He kind of looks like Static Shock.
He looks like white, bald Static Shock.
Yep.
Almost exactly like him.
I just realized that, actually.
He's
got
he's
trench
also
coat.
floating on a metal disc.
Floating on
like
a
Static
metal
Shock.
disc. He's got gloves and
Glasses.
goggles, just like Static Shock. I do like the piece of kryptonite in the middle of his chest as a symbol, though.
Do we know it's kryptonite?
It's
Or do we
glowing
know-
green material. I'm going to assume.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
it could be a power source or something.
So his new look, he's no longer wearing a power. Well, not. He's wearing a subtle power suit underneath. You can see the arms and the little bit on the neck. I'm sure that's all giving him enhanced strength and everything.
Sure.
And this is all part of his turning over a new leaf, trying to be the hero image.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Which he's done multiple times in comics. And in the end, he always slips back into his villainous ways.
Yeah. We'll post that up on the Facebook page. So
It
you
looks
can all
good,
see
though. The
that.
art's really good.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. The art is amazing. I did not show you this. I'm sorry. We had a leak of Jared Leto's Joker voice.
From, like, the movie they're filming.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of far away. Somebody turn on record and just
there's a guy they're hiring to do that, right?
Oh yeah,
They say DC execs like, hey, people love leaks, so take this crappy camera phone from 2003, which has terrible audio and terrible quality,
generate buzz,
and by buzz we don't mean the fuzz that you hear when you record, which is there.
It's going to be there anyway,
but go sit in this spot and let's record from a distance so it looks like you're sneaking it in.
Yeah.
When really he's, there and perfectly set up. And yeah. It's not, I don't think it's real leaks, people. I think it's fake. I think it's all staged.
But it does give us insights into the movie, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. But then again, like you said, here's his voice leaked with bad quality. I have a newer iPhone. Okay, even a couple generations old. I could record anything that from my pocket or like as it's hanging down while I'm just barely holding it, and the quality would be way better.
Yeah,
than
it would be
anything.
fine.
Like, it's a fake leak.
I will say this about his voice. He's got the laugh down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show it to you a little bit later, and we'll post this on the Facebook page as well so people can listen to it. We'll probably post it with trailers and videos.
We can pause for 2 seconds and then watch it.
Sure, let's pause for 2 seconds.
Okay. And we're back.
What'd you think? Yeah, he's got the laugh down.
Yeah.
I think the laugh is fine. I'm wary but excited. I wanted to see where this is going.
I'm very wary. This is maybe I'm so nervous because I love DC so much. Like Marvel, even when like Marvel was just starting, I was just like, well,
Alright.
that's cool.
Cool, Iron Man's coming out. Oh, look, we're getting a Thor movie. All right, I guess we're getting a Hulk movie too. But with DC, you're like Superman, Batman, Flash.
Yeah.
You're all there.
Aquaman. I'm all in, and I want them to do so good. And then
And I think
I keep seeing all these things, and I'm like,
we
it's
talked
not
about
like
this
the
at length. We talked about how we're not worried about Ant-Man.
No.
Because Marvel can do fine, and if Ant-Man does great, they can absolutely do anything. They could do a Howard the Duck movie and be good.
They already can do anything. They did Guardians of
true.
the Galaxy.
That's true. But when we look at DC, they haven't proven themselves yet.
They haven't even done their core characters
Exactly. So
properly.
Man
of Steel was good.
Then again,
Honestly, it wasn't a Superman movie to me.
if you want to talk about core characters, Marvel didn't do their core characters very well.
What do you mean?
Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four. The first Marvel movies to come out, they weren't that impressive.
But they weren't Marvel.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Marvel's success, I think, comes partially because they had to go to their tier down.
Okay.
Yes, Iron Man was around for a while, and yes, Captain America was there since World War II.
Yeah.
Where he punched Hitler in the jaw, but they weren't major characters.
True.
Marvel had to start this company with the Avengers because basically out of desperation. So maybe going with Suicide Squad coming out pretty early on, where there's not that many well-known characters, is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, we'll see. Mm-hmm. Batman v Superman could be the most amazing movie I've ever seen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have high hopes for it because I'm nervous, but we'll see.
So, let's talk about Warcraft.
Okay, the classic game from Orcs and Humans.
Yep. You can only select 4 units at a time.
Yep.
You couldn't just right click. You had to left click the attack button and then click it somewhere. You had to build everything around roads.
I actually liked that.
It was a fine game. I liked it too. For the time, it was super fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But they are coming out with a movie based actually on that first Warcraft.
Yeah. So it's not. Don't think of it as a World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
movie.
it's not going to be
It's just
looking for group for 3 tanks and a healer.
No, it is Warcraft, Orcs, and Humans.
Going back to their roots,
Back
we're
from
gonna
like the late 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s. Back when before anything else RTS was even good or remotely available.
And then they came out with StarCraft. Oh my gosh.
Which is just fantastic.
Ugh.
Which that movie should happen sometime, I think.
But don't even. Now I can't think of anything else.
The Warcraft movie is coming, and we got our first look at
Sarah Kerrigan. Jim Raynor.
Hey. We got our first look at one of the orcs. Specifically an orc named Ogrim Doomhammer, who is the father of Durotan, who is the father of Thrall, who is like the most famous orc in Warcraft lore. So, but we get kind of a look of him, and he's not green-skinned, because this is back before they drink the blood of Manaroth, which is a demon that turns them green-skinned and gives them like berserker rage.
They got dark brown, reddish skin.
So we get a cool little look at him here, kind of the CG work that they're doing with him, because all of the orcs are motion capture.
Yes. So they have real actors playing and getting the facial movements.
Yep.
And then they're just adding in the CG.
And
the
I think it looks
tusks
fantastic.
I think it looks amazing. But I did bring up a point that I thought you agreed with. I reserve judgments
until you see them
I
next
see them
to
next to a live action person.
Agreed.
Because there are times in movies, and this happens more often than not, it seems like lately,
Yeah.
where you've got CGI juxtaposed to real life, and it looks out of place. It looks like the CG is laid in a couple feet closer to you than the person, or vice versa. It looks really, because they don't really have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
So until we see the trailer, which I have faith in Blizzard, I think it's going to be amazing.
I do too.
But
so.
I'm still like, I hope it melts.
So
good.
in true Blizzard fashion, this movie is 4 years in the making.
Yes.
If they do not get it good, I don't have any faith in their ability to do movies
we know
anymore.
when it's coming out?
June 10th, 2016. So next year.
So in 2017, we'll be able to see it finally.
It'll be here when it's ready, Scott.
Which will be way later than June 10th, 2016.
I know. It's already been pushed from like 2012.
Unless it's already been filmed and they're just like sprucing up all the CG.
That's what. Yeah. No. Well, they're done filming now. Like that's the thing is they finished up primary filming and everything.
And
who's
doing
going to be in there?
ILM's doing it, so they're fantastic at CG work. So
you know who's going to be in there is the guy who plays Angel on X-Men: The Last Stand, Ben something or other.
Okay, yeah,
he is playing Medivh, the wizard.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. So
that works out.
We'll post that on the Facebook page as well. You can tell us what you think. I'm a big fan actually of regular practical effect orcs. Like from the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, really well done.
The Hobbit ones were iffy, unfortunately. Yeah. That whole series kind of went a little too deep into the CG territory.
The Hobbit is I swear it's like 90% CG, it seems like.
But to be honest, back when the Lord of the Rings was created, CG wasn't that big. True. They were still making the transition from practical effects.
Although like the Nazgul and stuff looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Treebeard was practical effects. They actually had a Treebeard puppet that people moved and operated.
Oh, because he's awesome.
Yeah. So. I've seen like all of the special features on the extended editions. That used to be my Corey's sick, what do I do movie. Like what do I watch? I watch the special features.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this next story? Can you read that right there?
What?
So Nintendo of America has promoted a person with the last name Bowser as their VP of sales.
Sweet.
What are they thinking?
He's gonna steal all the market.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be like, I've kidnapped Jenna Jameson, and wait, no, she's not famous anymore.
No, well, she's crazy famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kidnapped Emma Stone. And to get her back, you have to go through my Nintendo headquarters, and you get up to the top,
and you have to buy stuff.
The branch manager goes, "Sorry, Emma Stone's in another headquarters."
That's funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was a little.
I want to know. I'm curious about what the etymology is of the last name Bowser. Ooh. I wonder if it's like German or something like that. But that's interesting. I wonder if it means something. Like Vader means father in German. Literally Darth Father.
Darth Father. Let's see.
French.
Yeah.
French. It's a nickname for someone of a cheerful, pleasant demeanor or disposition. Or for someone considered to be good-looking, derived from the old French elements, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
That's funny.
So good-looking and cheery.
So they did everything opposite.
Yep.
Maybe the VP's cheery and good-looking. I don't know.
He didn't look that bad. Chris Pratt doesn't look that bad.
No, not anymore. He's not the dumpy guy.
Man, I'm really stretching for these transitions today.
Sometimes you don't have to do a perfect transition. You can just start talking about the next thing.
I want to though.
Anyways,
Chris Pratt says he is sorry for anything bad that he says during the press tour coming out about Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
We were trying to think. Why would he? Because there's been a lot of controversy with Jeremy Renner and Chris Evans and their whole comments about Black Widow
and how her character's a slut and everything. Like that.
What is he gonna say?
It's one of the Raptors.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna come out and be like, "Oh, Indominus Rex, total whoreback, you guys. Slept with everyone on the cast, everyone, including the key grip." Or especially the key grip.
Especially the key grip. Everybody loves the key grip.
The best boy. It's like that scene where she pulls the tracking device out. And they're like, why'd she pull that out? She remembered where they put it in.
Jeez.
But we don't know why he's saying this.
No.
So maybe it's all part of the promotion. He's really going to play his character.
Like
and
everybody's going to watch all of his press stuff now to be like, what's going on?
And maybe his character, or maybe it is a ploy. He's just like, if I say this, everyone will watch and then go see. I like to think that Indominus Rex is.
I think she is
a very slutty dinosaur. She has those long arms, those long clawed arms.
Oh yeah, you know why they enhanced those. Scott, do you like World War Z?
I enjoyed it. Yes.
Yeah.
It was. You'd read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'd read a little bit of it, but I never got through it because it wasn't really a style of book that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a hard time with the zombie survival guide and stuff as well.
Yeah.
The guy's a really good writer, but it's just not a style that I enjoy.
Yeah. There's some nods to the book in there, but mostly the movie is its own thing, and it's actually a very
pretty
well
much
done
just
movie.
pulled the title from it.
You kind of got a combination of zombie types in there because you have the fast zombies, which is not uncommon these days, but you also have it being a horde because fast zombies, it's like 2 or 3 fast ones that are scary and coming at you.
Yeah.
But when it's slow zombies, it's the horde of zombies that you can't take them all down. And
although the scene when they're in Israel and the zombies are piling up the walls,
and that's what I mean is
that's crazy.
That's what I mean is they have both fast and horde zombies, which is great. But Paramount has apparently put World War Z 2 up against Fantastic Four 2. They put it up on the same weekend, and I have to wonder, like, Paramount at first glance is like, Paramount's stupid. Why are you doing that? But then I realize, is Fantastic Four actually going to be good?
Or is Fantastic Four good, and they realize World War Z 2 is not going to be good, and people will go see Fantastic Four 2 instead?
Yeah, maybe.
We have to look also what's around in the weeks before and after, because if there's other movies that Paramount's coming out with, or the other studios are coming out with that are going to be just amazing, they'll want to put their movies somewhere
in there. Mm-hmm.
Which, in my opinion, if they come out on both, we'll just double feature it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Unless Fantastic Four 1 is just horrid.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if it's horrid, they'll cancel number 2. You know they will.
No, they won't.
You don't think so?
No, I think that they've announced it right now. They won't do it just because they need to keep the rights for it.
Yeah. What did it say the year in the article?
I believe it was 2017. A couple years from now.
Okay.
Let's see.
Right alongside the Warcraft movie?
Yeah. 2017. No,
okay.
Warcraft movie is 20... Never mind. I just got it.
A little behind there, Gory.
Let
me rewind the podcast so you can hear it again.
Yeah. Jeez, I sound weird. Do you want me to skip this next story, or do you think we should talk about it?
I don't even... What?
The Magic movie with Jesse Eisenberg about magic.
Is there a 2?
It's in production, but apparently Now You See Me 3 is already in works.
Huh. I like the first one.
Yeah, I think the first one's fine. I don't know that they need to already start working on 3.
But you can see how awesome, quote, of a movie I thought it was, but I don't even remember what it was called.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's got Mark Ruffalo in it.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one of those things where I was like, yeah, I've got to watch that every time. I think I've seen it one time, and it sat in my movie library for how long? A year, 2
probably
years?
a year and a half now at least.
Yeah, I think I watched it with on our family movie night. So other than that,
our sister liked it a lot.
Yeah,
she thought that was a really good movie. So, the Mad Max sequel has a title already. It's going to be called Mad Max: The Wasteland.
I wasn't sure they were going to do a sequel, but after I saw it, I was like, yeah, okay.
I think they have the right format down, where Max is kind of the unwilling participant. And at the end, he's just like, I've done what I need to here. I can leave now.
My planet needs me. I could go home now.
Krang is rumored for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which Bebop and Rocksteady are kind of his creation, so that kind of makes sense.
I'm doing that voice because guess what? It's not going to be real Krang. It's going to be a guy with the last name Krang who's a biologist that creates crazy creations.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an alien brain inside of a robot suit.
Because that's just weird.
No, but that's turtles.
I know. And that's the thing is, I'm not really... I'll wait for a trailer. We're going to see this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's going to suck. It's going to be just as bad.
Maybe we shouldn't then.
We knew the first one was going to be terrible. We have to. We've got a
don't.
podcast that we have to talk about this stuff on.
If you don't want us to see please, if you don't want us to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 or the Transformers spin-off movie that we're going to talk about now, please send an email to actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
We need to take one for the geek team, Corey. That's what we're here for, is so we can go see these movies and we can come on the podcast and tell you, don't waste your money.
We're like,
buy them on Redbox and make a drinking game out of it.
We're like two different sacrificial lambs. You're the one who's just like, yeah, I get to be a sacrifice. I love this. And I'm just like, no.
I have Stockholm syndrome with the geek culture. I like watching terrible things. I swear.
Okay, so let's talk about this Transformers spin-off movie. Not really. I don't really care. I just don't care. But apparently, Robert Kirkman, the writer for The Walking Dead and Invincible, is penning the movie.
Okay.
And again, this just sounds like somebody who just wants a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Kirkman is doing this for any other reason.
Well, I mean, yeah. They probably came to him and, I don't know, do a Transformers spinoff, but let's reboot it. Let's reboot it all. Get rid of everything that Michael Bay has ever done. Let's get rid of Shia LaBeouf. Let's get rid of Megan Fox.
Hey, Robert Kirkman, you did really great in The Walking Dead. We want to do a Transformers movie. Can you do it like you did with The Walking Dead?
And make it good?
Zombie Transformers, Scott. This is exactly what they want.
That's freaky.
Yeah, that would actually be very freaky.
Yeah,
they transform into old cars.
And they just follow you around.
They just roll at like 5 miles an hour.
That's fast. That's fast.
Yeah. Humans walk at like 5 miles an hour, don't they?
No, like 2.
Oh.
Tops.
Well, everybody else is walking too slow then. Dwayne Johnson got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I also have another story about him, too.
I have 2 stories about him. And these are reasons why Dwayne Johnson is amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Reason number 1 is he officiated a wedding for a super fan.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. What's your reason?
My reason is he just he's also in the Guinness Book of World Records.
My other reason.
For setting the most selfies in 3 minutes with his fans.
Yeah.
The rules were they had to be not blurry and you could see both their faces in it. And he did 105 selfies in 3 minutes. I was like,
so congratulations,
cool. Sweet.
The Rock. And you know what? He's fast becoming one of my favorite actors. And my dad...
It's a lot of fun.
My dad mentioned that on Jimmy Fallon, he was wearing a suit. And he's like, that guy does not look good in a suit. Like, he would look good if the suit didn't have sleeves.
I kind of agree.
Yes.
Every time I see anyone who's jacked like that in a suit, I'm like, you're too
You look
big
like
for
you're
that.
ready to just burst out of it. Just do it.
Just trying to Hulk out of a suit.
So there's a Star Trek film coming out. Or a fan film that wants to be put into production.
It wants to be, yeah. And it's going to be a fan film about the life and career of Captain Pike.
Okay.
The first captain of the Starship Enterprise.
We've had a few fan films coming out. Axanar is one that's in production.
Star Trek
Rebels or Renegades.
Yeah, right.
You're thinking Star Wars
thinking
Rebels.
Star Wars.
But now we got one for Captain Pike, which, I like Captain Pike.
I do too.
And I hope that
Boop.
that needs to be how he starts telling the story.
Boop.
And then it just dissolves into the flashback.
Well, he starts beeping from his weird chair, and the subtitles are like, long ago when I was a boy, and it's like one beep, beep, and it just comes up as that. But it's supposed to be like a feature length or a half feature length, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That they want to do, and there's a whole bunch of actors that have played in Star Trek and want to play in Star Trek that are backing it and want it to go to green light, basically.
Yeah.
So I know, I think it's Paramount that owns Star Trek. That owns the rights to Star Trek.
Yes.
They have come out and said, we will not go after anyone that makes Star Trek props, toys, games, guns, etc., as long as it's not for profit. So, like Star Trek Axanar, they had to do a fundraiser,
but they couldn't.
They're not going to be able to sell their video.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to have to be free on the web. Otherwise, the rights revert to Paramount, and they control whether or not it gets released.
Yeah.
And chances are it would not ever get released.
I think, I don't know. I think Paramount, this is a good thing that they're doing that. I think they need to go a step further because there's plenty of fans who love creating content out there. And I think if these fans who are doing Axanar and they're going to do well, like this movie already looks good. Their little documentary that they did,
their 30-minute
was really good. They need to go to Paramount and say, look, you guys aren't doing anything with Star Trek other than the movies. Let us do another series.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a web series, let us do something. Just do something with Star Trek.
Yeah. So if you want to make models or toys and then sell them, you actually have to go to Paramount and get licensing for them, which is pretty standard in the world. But Paramount's they're pretty cool with it. They usually let nearly anyone create models and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. And same with the movie things. I think at worst they probably send a letter that says, "Hey, we're cool with you using the movie as long as, here's the legalese behind it."
Yep, here's legalese, so just don't ruin the legalese.
Yeah. Yep. And then but then there's things like Blade Runner.
That's getting its
second movie, or
is it a sequel or a remake?
I think it's a sequel.
Okay.
Because I don't think, they're not going to remake it. It's a sequel.
But it will not be directed by Ridley Scott.
He had come out before and said he would be cool with it, but then now I guess he's either changed his mind or the company, the studio,
they're just
decided not to.
Instead, it's going to be directed by Dennis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve?
I don't know.
He's the director of a show called Prisoners, which I've never seen.
I think is Schwarzenegger and Stallone.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not
Is
mistaken.
it like Prison Break?
Sort of. And then
But the big news.
Yes.
But the big news
is they have cinematographer Roger Deakins, who's done cinematography, and that's basically the filming of movies like Unbroken, the Angelina Jolie movie that I heard was fantastic,
The Shawshank Redemption,
Big Lebowski,
Skyfall, the new Bond movie,
No Country for Old Men,
and True Grit,
which in fact the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
Not the 1930s
in fact,
one.
all of these movies have fantastic cinematography, and Unbroken actually won a bunch of, I think, Academy Awards.
I thought you were going to say all of those movies are ACTS and not AXE, the way we did back and forth there. But yeah, no, all of those movies are fantastic. I think Skyfall is one of my favorite Bond movies.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I'm not a big fan of Daniel Craig.
No, you're not. I still think Casino Royale is the best one that he's done so far. Because Quantum of Solace was okay.
Yeah. No, I would say Skyfall's better than Casino Royale.
Yeah, I have to go watch it again. It was pretty good.
So that begins shooting in 2016.
So looking forward to that. We have to sit through and slog through Blade Runner and terrible audio. But we do get to see the scene of Harrison Ford reacting to Star Wars trailer.
Which is really good.
When they came out with that Matthew McConaughey one, I said, look, a new meme is born. And sure enough,
it was born and then kind of quickly died.
Now it's Jack Nicholson reacts to Jared Leto's Joker. And so they find movies where they're crying in or like watching something angry or whatever, and they interlace it over the top of the trailers. And they did the same thing for Blade Runner, and it was okay, but it was not as good as the Matthew McConaughey one.
Yeah.
That one was the best one.
George Lucas says Howard the Duck would be a good movie. And we decided that
we actually interviewed George Lucas.
We have that interview at the end of the podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But what we say, George? No.
Anything that you say is going to be good, we say is automatically bad.
It's probably going to automatically be bad. And anything you hate, like he's kind of bitter about the new Star Wars, which means it's probably going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the last thing before we get into the casting couch, the Dresden Files graphic novel omnibus Volume 1 will be released in July. Scott, what is this?
I might actually buy this. So there's a book series out for the Dresden Files, written by Jim Butcher.
Dresden is a urban shaman.
Yep.
He basically does magic and solves mysteries.
Yep. He's kind of like a private detective that has magic.
Kind of like a John Constantine type.
Yes. And the graphic novel that's coming out in July is the adaptation of both Stormfront and Full Moon, the first two books in this series. And there's a bunch. There's like 30 books.
Yeah, there's like 17 at least.
They're all apparently really good. So, but I'm actually probably going to pick this up or at least put it on the list.
Putting a book into graphic novel form is a good idea.
I love graphic novels. And I loved the Dresden Files TV show.
You know what I would read? I would totally read a Harry Potter graphic novel.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, just the same story, but in graphic novel form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what kind of art
Yeah.
styles they take on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
All right.
I don't know if I'd buy it. I'd read it.
But yeah,
I'd make you buy it
so
and then I'd read it.
if you're Dresden Files fans,
Then even if you've only seen like the TV show, the one season TV show,
which was not bad,
no, I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot.
look for that coming in July. All right, casting couch time. We've got some rumors. We've got some confirmations, just kind of sketchy things. We'll start with a gentleman by the name of Tyler James William, who is the kid, the black kid, the new one in the series. I don't know if he's still alive, but the one who escapes from the hospital with what's her name? Beth, and like leaves.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. I remember. Now.
Anyway, he says that he knows that Jaden Smith is playing Static Shock for an upcoming web series for DC.
I hope that Jaden Smith has Static Shock hair. You know, the long dreadlocks.
Yeah,
which I thought
I'm sure they'll probably hopefully
his cat's his character. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Jaden Smith to me is not that great of an actor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he's a little bit better when he's not around his dad.
I don't know. I don't know because everything I've ever seen him in, one, he's been with his dad, and two, just not a good actor.
All right. Well,
but half of those, he's been a child actor, which is
exactly
again child actors.
We all know what child actors are like.
Yeah. I'm just actually more surprised that someone's making a Static Shock web series. That's more
like
surprising.
The
than they
comic
got to
didn't
play
even
in.
do good.
Yeah, the TV show was fun, but even then it was weird, and I didn't even know back then that it was owned by DC.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, fine then. Yeah,
I liked watching the cartoon though. So.
That was a good cartoon.
It was pretty good.
You know who my favorite character on that cartoon though was?
Who?
His friend, who was the geek with the tech and everything like that.
Yeah.
I related more to him than the black kid. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, Corey.
Reese Witherspoon. I can't do it.
Pointy chin.
Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
Not Reese without her spoon.
Yes. Reese with her spoon.
Yes. Is apparently going to be the main character in the live-action Tinkerbell movie called Tink.
I mean,
Disney's just making everything live-action now.
I want to see, I told you, I want to see Jasmine and Aladdin. I want to see Aladdin.
Yeah.
But I want to see
the Poke-pocalyptic. I did it too.
the post-apocalyptic
No, Poke-pocalyptic world
of Aladdin, where it's 10,000 years in the future. Humanity in the world has been,
reduced to a low,
to deserts and stuff, and that's why they have the flying carpet. That's technology.
Oh my gosh, it'd be like Dune from Disney. That sounds awesome,
right?
Yeah,
that sounds fantastic.
I mean, you can even do it with a little bit of technology in there still.
Yeah.
Like vibro swords or electro swords or something like that.
I mean, there should still be tech in there, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
But they're just going to be trying to get everything they can for live action.
We'll see. Greg Grunberg is returning for Heroes Reborn. He's the mind reader. Yeah, who just sits there and shakes his head.
He kind of tilts his head and squints one eye and just shakes at
most
you.
notably, the recent thing he's done is Big Ass Spider, which is a terrible D horror movie.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
And then there's a rumor floating around that Marvel wants Matthew McConaughey to play Norman Osborn. And I looked at this, and I saw a picture of him in like a suit and everything, and I was like, he kind of looks like Norman Osborn.
Well, I was just going to say, he's got the look down. I think he could play the looks just fine. He just doesn't have the voice for it.
Spider-Man, I'm going to kill Gwen Stacy. All right.
Exactly.
And that's unfortunately the problem that Matthew McConaughey faces all the time with his acting, is everybody sees him as that character. But Interstellar, he's not that character.
No, but he still has the voice. Yeah. And so that was a little hard to get past, where he's like, we used to be dreamers. Yeah. Engineers. And it's, it's just really hard to get past that. I don't know. Can he top Willem Dafoe?
No.
I had never heard of Willem Dafoe before that, and now
I think Willem Dafoe is like,
oh, he's fantastic. It's amazing.
All right, let's talk really quickly. Let's review Tomorrowland.
Okay, sure. Just
Yeah.
kind of a quickie review.
Yep, we won't even go into a different section for it or anything.
So Tomorrowland came out this weekend, this week, starring George Clooney,
Hugh Laurie, and a girl that we'll find out the name for, but I can't remember. But she's good.
She's very good, like surprisingly good in it.
Yes.
Actually. So, the premise is she finds a pin or gets given a pin. Tomorrowland is a
Britt
place
Robertson.
where Britt Robertson, yes,
That's her name.
Tomorrowland is a place where all the dreamers and scientists and stuff get recruited to go, and they've got technology way in advance of ours. I mean, things like they're traveling light years in space. In days type of thing, and teleportation and jetpacks. Starts out with George Clooney as George Clooney's telling a story, and he starts off all grim and dark, and of course
she interrupts.
She's like,
him.
"Hey, come on, give him hope,"
Yeah.
And so then it goes back to him as a kid in the 1964 World's Fair, and just all kinds of cool stuff happens. You get to see all kinds of crazy technology,
which all looks fun. Like there's things like every time something new would come on, I'd be like, and I turn to you and I'd be like, "Look at that! That's so cool."
Yeah.
A robot gives somebody a thumbs up.
Yep. It's got a lot of and then. We were wondering about the reviews, and I think I know why the reviews are so split. It is very heavy-handed.
Oh yeah,
it is very much one of those. Look, we are destroying the world. We're damaging the environment. We're on the brink of nuclear war, practically type of a thing. And it's very heavy-handed in its message of stop, fix things.
Yeah,
we've given up. Which is kind of true. I mean, if you look at it back in the 1960s, it was always like, the future is coming. We're going to go in space. And now we're like, ugh.
If we talk about the future, it's usually dystopian.
Yeah, we can't even get funding for science, and things that will help us have a better future. I don't know. So it's very heavy-handed, which I think a lot of people don't like. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I'm going to come out and say this, and I didn't say it before. I was actually pretty damn emotional. The whole thing. I was too. There were a lot of things about like hope for the future and making the world a better place and things like that. Where I was tearing up and I was like, yes, like I totally agree with this.
Yeah.
And so to me, the movie spoke. I mean, it was an awesome movie to me.
Definitely a wake up call.
It is not an action movie. It's not a kiddie movie. But it's
it's a little bit of both of those things. But it's pretty much just here's a movie to give you hope and to tell you, hey, something's wrong. You need to fix it. And my favorite part in the movie is she's going through these different classes, and they're all talking about, like, everybody has nukes. They're going to nuke everybody in her world history class. And then the polar ice caps are melting in her science class.
Yep.
And then
in her English class,
they're talking about dystopian futures and how that's
George
what we're
Orwell's
heading
1984 and Fahrenheit 451 and stuff like that.
And somebody finally calls on her, and she goes, well, what can we do to fix it?
And he just kind of...
And he just sits there like... And then the bell rings, and he gets saved by the bell, which doesn't happen for teachers that often.
Yeah.
But I think, oh man, like it really does make you think, to be honest. And I like it. I would watch it again. So
I am gonna pick it up. It's gonna be in my movie collection for years to come. DVD and all that stuff. I had a lot of fun.
4 out of 5.
I'm 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and it's got a little bit of sci-fi for me. It's got the it's a little heavy-handed at times, but I kind of like it because it's one of those things that needs to be said.
A lot of product placement for Star Wars.
If you know me, if you know me, you know I am about like clean energy, IntelliCrops, things like that, where I'm all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
you are Mr. Science.
I love it. I love it. So.
I'm just hoping for magic to be real.
Keep hoping.
Yep.
Keep hoping.
Well, while I'm hoping, why don't we go ahead and move on to the trailers?
So again, 4 from you.
Yes, 4 from me.
4.5 from me.
All right.
Go see it, people.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
Alrighty. Trailers and videos.
How's everything otherwise? Stoked for Avengers? 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 I hear Marvel got really hands-on this time. They really pinned in Joss Whedon creatively, so how could that go wrong? Okay, see ya.
All right, time for trailers and videos.
I got quite a few.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just like trailer 2s, though. This one actually surprised me, the first one. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, creator of Apple products. He died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They already had one out with Ashton Kutcher.
Which I hear was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. They're making a new one. It's just
Wow.
called Steve Jobs is the movie title. It stars Michael Fassbender.
It was
as
going to
Jobs.
star Christian Bale, I think, at one
Yeah,
point.
and you probably turn it down or something.
Well, he was going to be in it, and then he backed out of it. So,
Yeah.
but
So Michael Fassbender, Steve
looks
Jobs.
like Steve Jobs.
Kinda.
Yeah, well, I mean, as close as you can get.
Right. And you've got... Who else was
Seth
it?
Rogen.
Seth Rogen as Steve Wozniak, which is the other founder. One of
Yep,
the
the
other
one you
founders.
don't know about.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're listening to this podcast, you might
You
know
might
who he
know,
is.
but he's the one that I mean, he was Apple Computers.
Yeah, he programmed them.
Yeah. Steve Jobs could not do that. He was not an engineer. He's not a programmer, that kind of stuff. What is he?
Which-
he's a marketer.
Which, by the
basically.
way, you're reading through Ready Player One right now.
Yeah.
And Steve Wozniak is the Halliday, and Steve Jobs is the Ogden.
Other way around.
No. Steve Jobs is
that's
the
right.
face. Yeah,
No, yeah, you're right.
Ogden.
Ogden
Moros is the face of the company.
Yes.
And Halliday, or Wozniak, is the programmer.
But the trailer came out. It's short, like a minute, and got me interested.
Yeah.
Made me go, okay, it's coming out in October. Just kind of out
Octombre.
of nowhere. Boom. On
Yeah.
the radar.
There you go.
The next video we've got is Coldplay,
Yes.
a band. A pretty popular band for the most part.
I would say.
It is, so they had this thing called Red Nose Day.
Yeah, it's like a fundraiser day for.
Yeah, they make funny videos and goofy parodies and things like that. Well, they came out with like a 18-minute video or 12-minute video, yeah, of them. Coldplay wants to write a Game of Thrones musical, and so they get all these different actors from Game of Thrones that come in and do funny parts. They sing goofy songs, and of course, the thing that everyone was pointing to was you had. What's his name? Tyrion's character.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, as he was singing like a rock ballad about how he's still alive in Game of Thrones and no one else is. Really funny. Check it out. I thought I wasn't going to not like it, and I ended up watching the whole thing without even realizing it.
Because you're like, oh, probably just skip ahead to some fun parts,
Yeah.
and you ended up watching it all. So, we also actually had another Red Nose Day one, and I'm going to go jump down the list here a little bit. Anna Kendrick came out and did
fantastic girl.
Yep.
I think I'm falling more and more in love with her.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
And she did an Indiana Jones parody, an Indiana Jones parody.
It was basically, hey, look, everyone's rebooting Ghostbusters with female leads, so let's reboot everything with a female lead.
And it's her in the scene where she's picking from the cup and everything.
Yep.
It's funny.
It is really funny.
Yeah,
I
and you know what? I saw her and I'm like, I'd watch an Indiana Jones movie with Anna Kendrick.
What did I say? The first time I saw her, she comes on screen. I was like, yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I love how he says something like, oh, such a plain goblet for a pretty girl.
Yeah.
And she whips him in the face with the whip, and she goes, hey.
You know, I'm an archaeologist.
I'm a famous archaeologist. I got degrees, man.
I went to college. Where did you go? He said, I just went to night school.
I just went to night school. Oh, man.
We also had a Fury Road mashup with Mario Kart.
This movie is getting a lot of those.
Oh my gosh!
Not
this one
particular thing, but
so hilarious.
Yeah, it's the Fury Road trailer with stuff from Mario Kart superimposed over the top of it, and it's actually done really well and a lot of fun. I mean, there's like them hitting the blocks on the road. One of the roads they're driving on is Rainbow Road. Gosh,
the little flares in the beginning are the ding ding. Ding! The little go lights. Yes. I love it. I can't. And you guys have. If you only watch one video on the list, I would recommend that one. But watch them all.
Yeah. If you like Community,
I do.
Which I haven't watched a lot of it, but I did enjoy what I watched.
They're pretty funny.
Yeah, I just haven't sat down and watched them all.
And the Community writers directed Winter Soldier, so they got that in my book.
So there's. Speaking of Winter Soldier, there's actually a scene from one of the latest episodes, or one of the episodes they did, where it's the Captain America elevator scene where he fights all the guys in the elevator.
Yep.
And it's one of the guys from Community fighting everyone with paintball. I think
paintball guns and everything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a tip of the hat, like a nod to Winter Soldier.
It's pretty funny.
Pretty funny. The next one.
Yeah,
So Under the Dome.
A show that you don't think would have more than one season.
No. A show that you don't remember or know anything about. Apparently, a whole town gets put underneath this giant dome.
Wait, I've heard this. Keep going.
Yeah, you've heard this.
Yeah.
It's called The Simpsons
It's called
movie.
The Simpsons movie.
And they did it much better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But apparently their season 3 is coming. Like I said, I didn't even think they were going to get past season 1.
I didn't think that season 1 would even complete.
But
I've never seen anything more than like one trailer for it during a commercial for something else.
if you like Under the Dome, contact us, please, because we want to see who is actually enjoying this movie. We watched half of the trailer, but we thought we'd post it up here in case you were wanting to track it down.
Again, we are biased. We're not going to say we're unbiased. We are very biased, but we still watch this stuff.
Yep.
Just in case.
We get dragged kicking and screaming to certain things, even though we don't want to.
The next one, I've got mixed feelings on.
I think it's a good one.
Now, okay, and I'll tell you why. But so it's the Arkham Knight Be the Batman. This is like a campaign that they're trying to get so that they can get hype for the game.
Yeah, which is finally coming out.
There's a whole bunch of scenes of different people. Like there's one guy that's going to get mugged. There's another guy getting threatened on the train with a knife. There's another person like seeing some people in a building as the building's on fire.
He's a firefighter.
but I'm just saying, and the whole thing is, be the Batman.
It's
basically the
be selfless. Be fearful.
No, it's the What Would Jesus Do campaign, but it's What Would Batman Do? WWBD. So it's the What Would Batman Do campaign, and then of course it shows all these guys like standing up to the muggers and things like that. To me, I'm like, that's kind of bad advice. If someone comes at you with a knife, you give them your money. You don't try to like karate kick them, and especially if a whole gang of muggers come after you.
No,
like just give them everything.
Unless,
you start taking off your clothes and handing it.
So the guy who was getting mugged in the first part of that in this trailer, he's got a locket with his parents in it, and he's sitting in an alley. I think he's supposed to be Batman.
Okay.
So that's okay.
That's fine.
If you're Batman, be Batman.
But that's my
if not, don't be Batman.
Yeah. I'm cool with people like pulling people out of burning cars and saving their lives. That's great. But like everything I've ever read from, any advice from a cop or anything, they're like, hey, if someone comes up with a gun, you give them all your money.
Don't be a hero.
It's just money.
Yeah.
Don't get shot. But anyways, it's a fun video. It's actually really well done quality-wise.
Yeah,
so
I liked it.
And of course, then they show a little bit of the Arkham Knight.
I feel like it's inspiring. To be honest, I feel kind of inspired watching it.
Yeah, it makes you want. I want to go up. I want to go out and mug someone.
Not the wrong. That's
I mean, I want to go stop myself from mugging someone.
No, don't do it. I can't.
I need to put my own knife away.
Another game coming out is the Lego Dimensions game, and we had our first trailer, which I can't remember who the guy was in that one. I think he was a kind of a nerd icon, but I can't remember if it was anybody we knew. But this one is a new Lego Dimensions trailer featuring the only Doc Brown.
Oh man, he's old.
Yes, Christopher Lee is old, and you can tell
Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, whoops!
Lee is he's old too.
They're both old. You can tell that he's old as he's putting together the Lego portal. He's like shaking. Yeah. But
he's an alum from Salt Lake Comic Con as well.
Actually, yes, he is. And it's pretty funny. The trailer, he builds himself. Basically, he builds the Doc Brown figure,
and he looks at it and goes,
"What a handsome gentleman,
a fellow."
Yeah.
But he's basically still Doc Brown from Back to the Future, and I'm sure they got his voice for the Lego game.
Yep,
it's a funny trailer.
It's really good.
Check it out.
I think at this point,
let's talk about a Nova trailer.
Just stop.
Pan.
Just stop, Scott.
It's just another one.
Just stop. Another. So we got the second trailer for Pan, and to be honest,
we've been seeing the first one for months now,
and it got pushed back this year.
Yeah,
and to be honest, this one looks great.
This made me actually want to see it. The first one, I was like, I'll go see it just so I can kind of review it. And,
you're the reluctant lamb.
For this one, I was but now I'm not. This one looks great. I think it looks really good.
You get to see the giant crocodile.
Yes,
which is fantastic.
Flying airships, fighting each other
inside of a geode, basically a giant geode.
The core did it better. No, and Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard.
That's pretty much the reason I want to see this.
Actually, Garrett Hedlund as Hook's pretty good too.
That's true. Yeah, he's got a pretty good part in it. So
I'm not excited because of the kid. I don't think he'll be a very good actor.
You know my opinion.
Child actors.
I won't share it again.
Yep.
We also got a second trailer for Pixels.
Pixels? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was thinking Inside Out.
Nope.
Yeah. I was like, Inside Out, I'm so excited. Pixels, I wasn't really super into it. I was like, this looks like a funny thing, but it's an Adam Sandler movie. So,
yeah, so how good can it be?
He's kind of gone downhill, you know. However, I saw this latest one, and I'm like, this looks pretty funny.
I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be a fun little nostalgia romp.
Yeah.
Finish Ready Player One before you go into it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Because there's plenty of 1980s references that'll help you with.
Peter Dinklage is a legendary
Donkey Kong
champion
who happens to be in prison, I guess.
Yeah, maybe for throwing barrels at people.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out. But funny trailer. Go watch it. It actually gives more of the information about who these people are and that kind of stuff. So Corey, have you ever wanted to punch a child?
All the time, especially when they say another.
Or when they're screaming in the restaurant or the theater.
And I'm not a very violent person. I don't like to get violent, but kids just bring out like the worst in me. I should not be a dad.
Everyone's like, oh, when it's your own kid, it's different. And I'm like, that's probably true, but still, it still doesn't mean they're not annoying little shitheads. So there's a trailer for a movie called Cooties. And at first, when I saw this, I was like, that's interesting. Is it going to be a coming of age?
Like, is
movie?
Elijah Wood a teacher trying to deal with elementary kids?
No, it's basically a child zombie outbreak.
Yep.
And
it only affects people who have not been through puberty.
That's exactly. That's a line from it.
Yep.
Nap time, mother. It's funny. Check it out. It's I think the only one I know from it's Elijah Wood.
They got the guy from The Office with the glasses, whatever his name is, Dwight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the.
Oh, yeah.
He's the
janitor. No, he's the PE coach.
Yeah, he's the PE coach.
So they find there's a girl.
Have, what's his name? Fix-It Felix Jr. from.
Oh,
yeah,
the voice. Yeah. 30 Rock.
What is that guy's name?
I don't know.
I know this, but go on.
Yeah. Anyways, it looks funny. It looks like a Shaun of the Dead style.
Yes.
Style of movie where they're not taking themselves too seriously. And I watched the trailer, and then they started running through and just destroying these little kids that have this zombie cooties, and I'm like, hey. I've always wanted to punch a kid, especially when they piss me off.
Yeah.
That makes you sound like a horrible person. I don't just go around and I'm like, oh, I want to punch that kid. It's like, he's a little craphead, and he is yelling and screaming about something stupid while I'm trying to relax on the train. I want to just go up and smack him and say, shut up.
So this brings up an interesting question.
Okay.
So about 20 years ago, if some virus thing were to happen in like a zombie movie, everybody's first reaction would be to contain the issue and just run away and like lock the doors so that these people could possibly be cured.
Yeah.
Nowadays with zombie movies, it's, oh, you're infected with something and you're going to attack me? Well, I'm just going to kill you then. So it's if this happens, if anything like this happens in real life where people get like rabid and
kind of like 28 days later.
Yeah, kind of like 28 days later. Would people be like, we need to contain them because who knows, they could be cured?
The first little bit would be, first of all, what the heck's going on? Oh, crap, these people are actually like attacking us and stuff. Then they would try to contain them. But the normies, us normies that aren't part of the CDC or the military or whatever, we would be like, well, I need to go get some food, and she's running at me with, blood in her mouth and like she's gonna bite me. Yeah, I'm gonna hit her with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I don't know. Check it out. Looks fun. Yeah. So The Maze Runner.
Yeah, a movie you've seen but I haven't.
A couple years ago, based off a best-selling book series, which again started with The Hunger Games.
Yeah, a long line in the line of teen poke-pocalyptic worlds.
Poke-pocalyptic worlds, exactly. The second movie's coming out called The Scorch Trials.
Yes.
And this is after they get out of the maze. Spoilers.
Yeah.
And they find out they're part of an experiment for something, and they're it looks interesting. The sci-fi aspect of it kind of caught my attention.
Okay.
But the plot part of it I didn't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're supposed to.
First trailer was okay.
I know we're supposed to see these movies because we do run a podcast.
Yeah.
To be honest, we didn't watch Divergent.
I've seen it.
Yeah. No. Sorry, Insurgent.
Insurgent.
The second one. Have you seen that one?
Has it come out?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh. Well,
At least
I've
I
seen
think so.
Divergent, the first one. No, I didn't think it was out yet.
No, it must be out, or else they would have been having trailers for it.
Anyways, so the Scorch Trials.
Yeah. Are we going to see it?
Maybe. If there's nothing... This is one of those movies where if there's nothing else currently going on.
Yeah, Insurgent came out in March. So.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Yeah, well, again... Even the Hunger Games movies, I kind of have to drag myself to because I love the books. I thought the books were amazing.
Yeah,
but I don't really care that much about the movies.
Yeah. You didn't even read the last book though. You thought that was kind of a
I got halfway through it and then I got bored.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not gonna go finish reading it before I see the movie. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll pick them up again and they'll be on sale on Amazon Kindle for $5 for all three of them.
Yeah.
And I'll pick them up. Well, it's like Harry Potter. I read 4 books, 5 out of the 7 books. Never read the last 2.
I actually read all
I've got
of
them. I mean, I've got them just for posterity's sake, really. But I haven't read them, so I don't really.
Posterity steak.
That's a good type of steak.
I actually read. I think I read the 6th book in a weekend, and this was kind of like I was like, I'm not really. The Harry Potter franchise at that time had become too popular for my teenage mind to want to enjoy it.
So you were being
I was being a little hipster.
Hipstery.
Yeah. And so I was kind of like, whatever, I'll just read the book, see if, because I've already read the others, and then I read it over a weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, every little word was fantastic.
Yeah.
Have we ever talked about bad lip reading?
I don't think
before?
so.
It's a YouTube channel.
Yeah, YouTube channel called Bad Lip Reading, where they take popular movies like Twilight, Hunger Games, a couple others that I can't remember off the top of my
They
head.
did The Walking Dead.
They did The Walking Dead, episodes of The Walking Dead, and they overlay what they actually look like they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things like, he's saying, like, I really love you, we should go out, and it's like, I slapped a fish.
Yeah. It's
type of a thing.
It's that kind of thing where if you look at somebody who's talking, their mouth can be making the same motions that would be a different word.
Yes.
And they just lip sync to it badly.
But these guys just released a new video, which they don't release very many.
No.
I think it takes them a while to do them, which is unfortunate because they're really funny. Redneck Avengers. And they took parts of the Avengers movie and made them into this redneck team of Avengers.
Of hillbillies.
And they all have, Southern y'all accents, Deep South, in the bayou type deal, and man, it's funny.
It was pretty
so
funny.
Yep. And then last but definitely not least is a Wonder Woman fan trailer that we found.
It was released a couple years ago, I think.
But it's just kind of making the rounds again, and I don't know who's the actress in it or the actor, but I liked it. I really did.
It's Wonder Woman versus Nazis.
Yeah, pretty much.
Need we say more?
Yeah, and I looked at it and I was like, I like her better than Gal Gadot already. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for trailers and video. Let's go ahead and get into the picks of the week.
Sweet Clyde, laugh derisively at him.
All right, time for the picks of the week.
Yes.
This is just basically what we've been geeking out about this week. Nothing ain't but nothing but a thing.
Ain't nothing but a thing.
Scott, why don't you go ahead and get started, because all I have is question mark, moo ha 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 ha. So
you put that there, not me.
I know.
My pick of the week actually is, if you remember the show from your childhood called Bill Nye the Science Guy. Where you learned about things and had fun doing it.
Yes.
Well, they just put up 40 episodes up on Netflix, the first 40 episodes.
Awesome.
So go check it out. Go look at Bill Nye and look at him now versus then, and you can see, it's like, wow, he's...
Bill Nye has actually become a huge advocate for scientific
literacy.
Or literacy.
Yep, and advancement, of course, but mainly literacy.
Yeah.
Like, teach our kids the right stuff. Teach them how to do science. You know, teach them science, technology, engineering, math, the STEM fields.
Yeah.
Like get into that. He's also best friends with Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is like the rock star of science right now. So, yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix. So if you don't have Netflix, you can actually go do like their 30-day trial and check it out. If you already have it, of course, you can just go on and watch it.
Pretty awesome.
I'm probably going to go watch a few episodes.
All right.
The science holds up pretty well, apparently. So it's good. Good to know.
There's a few things that have probably changed, but that's just because
he refers to Pluto as a planet, which is no longer classified as a planet.
And you know, there's things with science that change because we discover new things.
And that's the great thing about science is the fact that it's willing to say, "No, we were wrong.
Yeah.
We were totally wrong." And here's why. And we found out here's the correct thing. It doesn't mean that science is flawed or bad. It just means that they're always striving to be better. So
exactly.
That's good.
So, my pick of the week is a book series that I finished. It's actually 3 relatively short books. They're only about I did them on audiobook for about 10 to 12 hours long each if you're listening to audiobook.
Which is roughly, I think that's like 200 pages or 150 or something like that.
Yeah. It's called Magic 2.0, and it's by Scott Mayer.
So I read that and I was thinking Sid Meier's. Like Civilizations?
No.
Because that actually came out a little bit ago.
His Sid Meier's Starships or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Magic 2.0, the first book is called Off to Be the Wizard, followed by Spell or High Water, followed by An Unwelcome Quest. You know, but they're all contained in Magic 2.0, which is the series where this gentleman by the name of Martin finds out that he is basically the entire world is a computer program. And he finds the program that's running constantly on like some database. And he figures out how to use it to make himself teleport and make himself go back in time.
So the main character finds out that his whole life is a illusion.
Yes.
And rather than find out what the real reality is...
well, they address that, and he actually says... Instead, there was a brief moment where he had a crisis about it, but then he just realized that most people just think that the world was created by God, but now he's just added a step where the world is a computer program created by who knows who, you know, kind of that thing. So he gets through it pretty quickly, and he ends up changing his bank account to suddenly create more money in it.
Yes.
Because that's part of his program, his little data sheet is... his bank account. Well, he ends up getting in trouble within like a week because suddenly money is appearing in his account that's not there, and the bank is coming after, or not the bank, the Department of Treasury is coming after him.
Oh, so okay, they're coming after him because of the money, not because he found the computer program.
Yeah,
they don't know he.
Yeah, they don't know about. Nobody knows about the computer program except for a few people.
Okay,
and he decides that his fail-safe plan, if all else fails, he's going to go back in time to medieval England to become a wizard. To convince... Well, actually, no, he finds a book called The Best Time to Be Alive in Medieval England. And it tells like a 10-year date between there.
I was going to say, worst time period ever. Like, disease is rampant. No one showers or has baths. I mean... Like, food is terrible. There's war.
But the people
die
in
all the
it,
time.
You can do magic tricks like teleporting, and people will suddenly think you're a wizard. And
because
they will give you stuff.
Does he still have access to the computer program?
Yes, he actually makes it so his cell phone always has service wherever he is.
And it's always charged?
Yep, and it's always charged. Okay. Like, he makes the charge a constant on
it. And it's indestructible?
And that's the thing is, so he gets back in time and he finds out that other people have done this before him. And there's this whole community of wizards, and he has to go through the process of learning how to use this other program that they've built into the computer program that recognizes if you're wearing a certain wizard hat, if you have a wizard staff or wand and you're wearing a robe, you can cast magic with it. Yeah. The program will recognize you and you can cast magic using the language that they tried to create at the UN called Esperanto, which only William Shatner knows, basically. Okay. Only William Shatner's bothered to learn. And it's a really funny book. Everybody who's gone back in time are smart people who found the program, so they're all geeks. Yeah. So it's pretty much a group of geeks that are back in time playing games and playing at being wizards. And so there's a lot of cool, fun, geeky references in there. There's one point in the book where they're riding a cart down a hill, and at the last moment, Martin jumps off and it goes over a cliff, and he lands and he stands up and he goes, "My name is James Tiberius Kirk." Oh, you know, kind of.
So these are fairly new then.
Yeah, they are fairly new. He's from 2012, and his mentor is actually from 1984.
Yeah.
And you cannot go forward in time past the day that you left. So you can't go far. You can't go farther because the program hasn't written it for you yet, which is a really weird concept. Because if somebody comes to you from 2012 and they explain that kind of all like that's your reality, that's the program recognizing you and everything. So it gets very interesting.
Which is probably a good reason that he just kind of glosses over all that paradoxical stuff. And
And there's actually really fun. The first book is kind of like Sorcerer's Apprentice meets Hackers.
Okay.
The second book is a lot like Looper. And that kind of I'm you from the future, you know, let's not make a paradox type thing. And it's kind of a murder mystery on top of that. And then the third book is like Sword Art Online or any of these trapped in a video game type books.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I would recommend reading them. They're pretty fantastic.
Probably find them on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. You can find them on Kindle, I think, for like $5 a piece.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. And then audiobook, I got them for like $12 a piece. So yeah, not too bad.
I wonder why audiobook's so much more expensive than Kindle.
You have to pay, not only do you have to pay the author and all the people who did the book, but you also have to pay voice actors and the people who worked on the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. This is our pick of the weeks, people.
Yeah. And that's going to do it for the Acts of Geekery podcast. It's been a wonderful ride with you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like we're completely finished forever.
No.
We're not.
No.
We're coming back next week.
We'll be back next week for more fun. But in the meantime, if you have a pick of the week, if you'd like to tell us not to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 or anything else, you can send us an email to actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
You can also tell us how much you love or hate Simon Pegg by going to facebook.com/actsofgeekery and leave us a message or comment on one of our posts.
Do you really not like Anna Kendrick? That even though Scott does, well, why don't you go to Twitter and go to @ActsOfGeekery or use the hashtag #ActsOfGeekery and tell him about it.
Yep. And you can also leave us a comment on YouTube, youtube.com, and you can just search for our Acts of Geekery channel. We try to post all of our stuff up there. I'm a little behind. I'm sorry, but I actually uploaded them to the wrong account, and now I have to re-upload them all.
And you can also go to iTunes and subscribe to our podcast there. Give us a 5-star review because that helps other people find us.
You keep saying that. You just start saying, just give us a rating.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what if they only want to do 4? And they're like, well, they told us not to.
Well,
anyways, give us a rating.
Yeah, give us a rating.
Give us some kind of a blurb about it.
Good one.
Yeah, we would love the good ones. But the better they are, the more we get, the higher we get bumped up on like the new and trending stuff.
The more people we get,
we can go ahead and find it out.
Yeah, I mean, we can get more popular, and that just means better stuff for you in the future.
And those are all ACTS, not AXE.
Well, Scott, until next time, I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek.
Keep geeking out.
Why'd it have to be snakes? I just wanted Jar Jar to be the best character out there.
Well, George, you know, the fans, which is kind of where you made your money. I mean, you can't really deny that, correct?
I would say that I made my money because of good marketing skills, but continue.
But the fans are what kept it going. Okay. They hate Jar Jar Binks.
I don't understand why. He's a very cool character. And he's actually pretty much the hero of the entire Star Wars universe.
Your definition of...
Hold
on. What?
Without Jar Jar Binks being there to annoy Anakin Skywalker, he never would have become Darth Vader and never would have had Luke Skywalker, who would have saved the galaxy.
So you're saying without Jar Jar, he would have never had sex?
I'm saying without Jar Jar, there'd be no Star Wars.
What about the original trilogy? There was no Jar Jar in that.
Well, that's because I didn't want to introduce him until I did my second trilogy, which was by far the superior trilogy in my opinion.
George, actually, I've got a surprise for you here. This was actually a collection of fan submissions. They all wanted to say something to you.
All right.
So if you just go ahead and stay right there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
Okay, I don't really know what's going.
There you have it, folks. Interview with George Lucas. Well, last interview ever. Have a good day.